Every successful brand you see today once began as a simple idea. An idea backed by courage, driven by passion, and shaped by the right guidance. Welcome to Arijit Officials presents Novesta Group, title sponsor, the Startup Brilliance 2026 Brand Building Seminar, hosted at the prestigious Spring Club's Business Center.
গুড ইভিনিং সবাইকে, অরিজিৎ অফিসিয়াল পক্ষ থেকে জানাই। তো স্টার্টআপ বিগিন্স 2026 আজকে হচ্ছে ব্র্যান্ড বিল্ডিং সেমিনার। বেসিক্যালি আমরা এই কনসেপ্টটা গত বছর থেকে শুরু হয়েছিল যে স্টার্টআপদের ব্র্যান্ড বিল্ডিং করার। এই যে স্টার্টআপ বিগিন্স অ্যাওয়ার্ডের কনসেপ্টটা কী ছিল, যে ব্র্যান্ড তৈরি করা সহজ, সাস্টেইন করাটা খুব টাফ। তৈরি তো সবাই করে ফেলতে পারে, কিন্তু সেটাকে সার্ভাইভ করে। তেমনি অরিজিৎ অফিসিয়ালটা আমারও একটা ব্র্যান্ড, সেটাকে আমি 2017 তৈরি করেছি এবং সেটা নিয়ে এখনও লড়াই করে যাচ্ছি। তো এইটা একটা জার্নি, যে জার্নিটা আমার মনে হয়েছিল স্টার্টারদের সাথেও করা, যেহেতু আমার প্রত্যেকটা ইভেন্ট একটা ইনিশিয়েটিভ হয়, একটা জার্নি হয়। এবং 2025 প্রথম স্টার্টআপ বিলিয়ন্স অ্যাওয়ার্ডটা শুরু হয়, 2026 এটা সেকেন্ড ইয়ার হয়। আমরা মিটটা পড়ি, আমাকে এই প্ল্যাটফর্মকে যারা সাপোর্ট সিস্টেম, একা তো কোনো কিছু করা সম্ভব হয় না, একটা সাপোর্ট স্ট্রাকচারাল হেল্পিং হ্যান্ড লাগে, যারা আমার পাশে থাকে, they will share their thoughts.
The seminar featured 3 distinguished guest speakers with the strong support of Arijit Official sponsorship brand owners, who not only backed this initiative but also actively participated in the seminar to mentor, guide, and inspire these rising entrepreneurs. The stage transformed into a powerhouse of encouragement, strategy, and real-world wisdom.
Namaskar, Swagatam, Suswagatam, Abhinandanam, Assalamu alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Hello and welcome to Arijit Officials presents title sponsor Novesta Group, the Startup Brilliance Award 2026. With that, ladies and gentlemen, before I call upon the guest speakers, I would like to invite the brands that will be receiving the awards this year for a photograph on stage and a small felicitation. In no specific order, I'll be calling them out.
This year, 20 promising startups, the official winners of the Startup Brilliance 2026, were recognized, motivated, and empowered to elevate their vision to the next level.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start off with the founder of RK Dhanvatri, a dedicated wellness professional committed to promoting holistic health through natural and time-tested approaches. Put your hands together for the first guest speaker this evening, none other than Mr. Raj Khandelwal.
Each one of us, I strongly believe, each one of us has a story to tell. We need to start somewhere. And believe me, as Arijit Babu was just sharing it, you have to have dream big. You have to have a think that yes, I can do it. What may come. People will laugh at you sometimes. You sometimes feel like I'm a crazy man. Even your own people at home, your parents, even your wife, sometimes your girlfriend say, "He power hoyeche neki, he almo korecho." Believe me, that makes you more 100% crazy to deliver. And yes, I started in subtypes in 1984. It is a very untold story. And today I am sharing it with you, my dear friends. When I started, when I trained about this pharmacy, Dhanvantri Group is a pharmacy, retail pharmacy. And I was on the job and I was in a service. And when I dipped, I must to have a pharmacy, but no money in the pocket. So I approached the gentleman and he was having a space there, and I said, I want this place. Lala, if you spare this place, I'll be very happy and very fortunate to will feel blessed if you can do it. He said, okay, you are to have this shop. I said, yes. He said, have you money in your pocket? And I said, no money with me. Then how will you take this? I said, I don't know, but I want to do this. And believe me, you must be laughing at it, but it happened. The gentleman in 1984, he was one of the famous celebrity of India. Mr. Subrata Patnavish is no more on this planet Earth. And one of the finest gentlemen. He was the chief photographer of The Statesman when the telegraph was not born.
Moving on to our guest speaker is at the house at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. A highly respected name in the furniture industry with over 35 years of dedicated contribution to Supreme Furniture Company. Put your hands together for Mr. Mukesh Kaul, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a different story than Supreme Industries. Supreme Industries is a huge, big company of country. It's the largest plastic processing company in the country. I'm there from last 35 years. Still I'm continuing. Since my retirement is approaching, so I thought I'll be looking for some different profession also. And that second profession could be fitness industry. Because I was into fitness from last 35 years. I did a lot of courses in that. I have a lot of certificates. And in fact, I have more than 3,000 students also. But I teach them not professionally. It's my passion. So no money, nothing is involved so far. But might be in future, I'll start. So what I need to say is, here at this stage, after retirement, future belongs to those who combine technology with strong human. I conclude by saying this: when I can do, you can do, everybody can do at any age. Age is just a number, not a bar. Thank you very much.
This man needs no introduction, former IAS, and of course, who's been associated with the HITCO. Put your hands together for IAS, Mr. Devashish Seth.
It's extremely important যারা এখনো AI কে seriously নিচ্ছেন না. The quicker you learn, the better it is. If you have missed India Impact Summit, so একটা আমার ভারী মহল লাগলো in the format branding. We have heard of influencers, Instagram, Facebook, যেই করেন এবং যে করেন এরকম লোকের তো এখানে থাকারই দরকার নেই, সেগুলো পারবো ব্র্যান্ডিং. So influencers and branding, ওরা কি করেছে? On one hand, they have your brands. On the other hand, they have the influencers who are influenced. I mean, you have to have, I don't know, 1 lakh followers or something to be a qualified influencer. And they have created a barter market place. And through AI, they are matching any fashion ekore or any fashion bikri korche. They are trying to marry each other. Then they negotiate and things like that. And, you know, if you are in sports, so he is in the sports. It's not merely what is the image that is coming, but it's an actual matchmaking, not Naukri.com, but brand influencer. This is what startup is actually doing that I found. And I think in this context, this is very, very necessary. So I will not elongate my speech. I am very, very certain that the whole world is changing. It is not hyperbole, অতিরঞ্জিত নয়. বিশ্বাস করুন, আমি মন থেকে বিশ্বাস করি। আমি টিনেজার নই, আমি জেনারেশন এক্স নই, বাট আই হ্যাভ টেকেন দ্য এফোর্টস টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড হোয়াট ইজ দেয়ার টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। যদি আপনি এআইকে নেগলেক্ট করে আপনি যদি এআই এর যা চলছে অ্যামেজিং থিং, আমি দিল্লিতে গিয়ে একদিনের ভিজিটে যেটা আমার চোখ খুললো, এটা যদি আপনি খবর না রাখেন এবং নিজের মতো করে সেটাকে যদি অ্যাডাপ্ট না করে, কত লোক কত কী করছে যদি না বোঝে ইন্সপায়ার্ড হন, তো কিসে বাংলাকে আই ভেরি স্ট্রংলি বিলিভ এটা করতে পারে। আমি জানি ডক্টর অর্ণব যেটা এককালে করেইছিলেন, দু একজন স্টার্টআপকে মেন্টর করেন, তারা অসাধারণ কাজ করছেন এআই নিয়ে, কিন্তু ফিজিবিলিটি কোথায়? আমাদের একসঙ্গে আসতে হবে, শোকেস করতে হবে।
We quickly move on to our valuable brand sponsors who are also our speakers this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker this evening is the co-founder and director at Praxis Business School Foundation, Professor Charanpreet Singh, ladies and gentlemen.
Why is a brand important? Because a brand gives us access to customers, right? And it helps us retain those customers. And it helps us to have a little more tolerance in price with those customers, right? So we can make a little more money, all right? And a brand equity is like a shield when there are tough times. It's the brands that survive, right? So when COVID happened, the big brands all made more money because we stopped investing in the smaller brands because we were not, totally sure that, that they were reliable and all of that, right? So if you have to build that trust, if you have to create that brand, then I think 2 or 3 things. One is clarity, which we already talked about. I think the second is consistency. Right? There are actually 4 C's that I'm not going to do that now, but consistency is very important. Can you deliver on your promise day after day, okay, in a consistent manner? Those are the things that build a brand, right? And that's why it's more difficult to sustain a brand than to start one, because when you start there is excitement and all of that, but when the regular work comes and you have a larger team, everybody not personally trained by you, how can you ensure the same delivery to promise that as a shortcut, small company is probably easier to deliver?
We move on to our next brand sponsor speaker, ladies and gentlemen. He is the Dean Management, IEM UEM Group from the Institute of Engineering and Management, the University of Engineering and Management, ladies and gentlemen. Another professor in-house. Put your hands together for Professor Dr. Shubhroto Chattopadhyay, ladies and gentlemen.
Digital marketing and adoption of AI. AI is no longer a choice, it's an immersion, right? And you can do a lot of things with, generative AI. In fact, I use it quite off and on, right? In fact, you want to design an ad, you want to create your SEO, you want to see that, how your brand performs. You can do all of that with, artificial intelligence these days. And with generative AI, the challenge that is coming is agentic AI, which will make decisions. So the industry is undergoing a lot of transformation. The only thing is that the startups should, as Chanpis sir has already mentioned, they should sustain themselves, be grounded, and understand that what is the reality, connect to the customers, and how do you scale up and scale out, and thereafter build a brand. So what you need to do, in fact, one of the brands that I can see, right, I did in the first case study with them, which is the Emerald case study now, which is Wamo, right? So 2-3 friends started in Xavier's College and thought of, starting, a Bomo venture, building it to a brand which was not thought of before, right? So what you need to do is that, first of all, you need to saturate in the local markets, see that, you are getting repeated customers. How do you convert your first 100 customers to many thousand customers, and see to it that there is minimal churn out, so that, people are speaking about you and there is a lot of association, there is a lot of engagement.
Moving on to the next speaker this evening. He is the CEO of Wacky Toon Studio, Mr. Niloy Kanti Vishwas.
যেটা সবাই আমার আগে বললে যে ড্রিম ইট ডু ইট, বাট মার্কেট স্টাডি করে রিসার্চ করে আস্তে আস্তে বুঝে ওটাকে করলে সবার পক্ষেই ভালো হবে। এবং অবভিয়াসলি সবার মধ্যে একটা সততা থাকতে হবে সবার আগে, যেভাবে। তো আমার ওটাই সবাইকে বলার, আমার থেকে যারা সিনিয়র ওদের থেকে অনেক কিছু শুনলাম, ভালো লাগলো। তো আমার এখন যেটা সবচেয়ে বড় অ্যাচিভমেন্ট হয়েছে, সবাই যেটা দেখেন আর কি, জাপানি অ্যানিমেশন যেটা রিসেন্টলি উই হ্যাভ আ ডিল উইথ জাপান। এটা হচ্ছে নারুটো ওগাচামাকাও। আমরা 5 বছরের ডিল সাইন করেছি এই মাস, এবং লাকিলি আমাদের ইন্ডিয়ার মতো ওরা আমাদেরই সিলেক্ট করেছে। এটা ইজিলি হয়নি, লাস্ট 3 বছর ধরে ওরা যাচ্ছে আর আসছে টিম নিয়ে। তো আমার কাছে হবে কি, বিকজ দে হ্যাভ সারাউন্ডিং অল ওভার দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড। তো ফাইনালি ওদের মনে হচ্ছে যে কলকাতার আর্টিস্টরা সবচেয়ে বেস্ট। হ্যাঁ, এবং কলকাতার মধ্যে যে স্কিল আছে এবং যে একের পর অন্য জায়গায় দেখেনি, তো এই দেখে যে সিলেক্টেড মাই স্টুডিও। এবং ভালো লাগে শুনি, এবং এই কাজটা 5 বছর ধরে চলবে এবং কন্টিনিউ হবে। কারণ আমি বলেই ফেলি দ্য ফ্লাইট ইজ কাঞ্চি রোল। কারণ কাঞ্চি রোল আপনারা সবাই জানি, জাস্ট টাইপ ইট। কাঞ্চি রোলের এখন সবচেয়ে বেশি ভিউয়ার, মিলিয়ন অফ ভিউয়ার অল ওভার দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড। তো কাঞ্চি রোল ওরা চায়নায় দিচ্ছিল কাজ, somehow they are not happy, so they decide to start in India. This start with my studio of Academy Calcutta. এবার all over India তে শুরু করব।
Moving on to our next speaker this evening is the Regional Director of PVR Inox, one of India's leading multiplex chains. Put your hands together for Mr. Omitabo Guo Thaputra. Ladies and gentlemen.
Brand building is not a day's activity, right? And brand building is a continuous process. As we say that learning is a continuous process, brand building is a continuous process. A small mishap can lead a huge dent to a brand. Even if you are the leading brand like us, we are into this segment for last 25-26 years, and we enjoy the number one position in this country. We are the only listed exhibitor in the country, but still we all live on the edge. One small mishap, one small accident, one small guest dissatisfaction can create a dent in your brand, and it takes years, days and months, okay, to mend it. It's very difficult. Now today I take care of the eastern part of the country. I have 7 various states under us, and 7 different states behave differently, right? To the new entrepreneurs who are sitting here, you might be having your brand presence in Bengal or Calcutta today, and tomorrow by grace of God and with your hardship, it will be moving forward for various states, various cities, various countries, It is very, very important for us to understand the local rules and local laws, right? One. Second, when you start a business and when you want to graduate the business, you should keep in mind that the compliances are in place, right? Each and every compliance makes your life very easy, right? And I believe when a compliant company fights with a non-compliant company, is always an edge to grow faster. So you can understand, on 17th of March 2020 at 6 p.m. our revenue come down to 0, and we have no horizon to understand when our business is going to be opening again. With I think in Pan India our force of employees around 30,000, right? You can understand, the life has come to a standstill, right? And we as the leaders, we never have any answer to be given to our employees, right? What's next and what's coming to it tomorrow, right? Why I'm talking this point is that this kind of business disruption can come anytime. It can come today, after 1 hour. It might come after 10 years. But one good thing that we have learned, our generation, at least my generation has learned, is that how to deal with this.
We quickly move on to our next speaker this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is the CEO of Gibraltar Air Springs Private Limited. Put your hands together for Mr. Arpol Bas.
So brand is something which starts from here. So if you have a laptop or a desktop back home, open it, you'll find the first page, the desktop. If you find it very cluttered, believe you me, your headspace is also cluttered. So you have to have a very clear understanding about your positioning, your company's positioning. That's quite similar to that of what you get to see on the first page of your computer. So I know a lot of people, they do a lot of job. They open the lid and you see X, Y, Z and everything, it's full. So that reflects what they think precisely. So one needs to be extremely objective and focused about their positioning. That's very, very critical. I know Mr. Ghosh talked about a lot of startups and then drop-offs. So he's absolutely correct. That's because we confuse the positioning. Now, brand comes with positioning. Again, I won't get into the terrain of the professors about teaching how branding works, but positioning is extremely important. So every advertisement campaign, every effort that we put in, how we dress, how we present ourselves, how the products have to be packaged, everything starts from there. Then comes the first layer of customers. Any idea who are the first layer of customers of an organization? The internal customers, your employees. They will have to have the buy-in that yes, this is an idea, this is where we think it can be positioned. Then comes the external customers. So they're the last ones. Unfortunately, if we start thinking about them, and your inner guy doesn't bother about it, it doesn't work. So it works in a series. Positioning is extremely important.
We move on to our next speaker, another handsome gentleman in the house, ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Sri Balaji, one of leading real estate developers in West Bengal. Put your hands together for none other than Mr. Manapal, ladies and gentlemen.
I always promote my product that this is not a home. This is not your regular home. This is a home of your dream. Where যখন ডুয়ার্সে প্রজেক্ট আমি লঞ্চ করি যার করেছে ট্যাগলাইন, বাড়িতে তো চা আমরা সকলেই খাই, চা বাগানে বসে চা খেয়েছেন কখনো? Think your home within a tea garden. This is something a help. তো এরকম কিছু ইমোশনস যদি আমরা if you can introduce with our product, it's very difficult to say let's do something very uniquely, think something very unique. In traditional world, it's very difficult to do something unique with something regular product. Say suppose a steel industry, what uniqueness he can do? There is some steel rod irons, there's a TMT bars, there's some sheets. এর বাইরে কি হবে? Maximum we can say that I use little less carbon, nothing else. In the real estate also. In real estate also, this was very difficult to say something and we are doing something very unique. So I positioned my product in such a way where people actually thought that this is a home that is not only made with concrete. This is a home that I would have dreamed. শান্তি নিকেতনে রবীন্দ্রনাথের বাড়ির পাশে আমার একটা বাড়ি। সেই বাড়িটার মধ্যে কিছু ইউনিকনেস নেই, আমি এখানে যেরকম বানাই ওখানেও সেরকম বানাই। ডেফিনেটলি দ্য মেকিং অফ দ্য প্রোডাক্ট ইজ সামথিং ডিফারেন্ট, বাট দ্য thought behind the project, the emotion behind the project is something very unique, and that makes a difference with the other traditional product available in real estate market in Calcutta. So there I make the product positioning is something very different, and my journey starts from there. I think around 1,400 plus units have been delivered, and 4,000 plus units is under construction right now. I'm probably the only Bengali developer company who exists in this volume in Calcutta market.
Moving on to our next speaker this evening, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman and principal owner of Kolkata Thunderbolts, the PVN champions. Put your hands together for CA, Mr. Pavan Kumar Patoria, ladies and gentlemen.
I am perhaps the oldest startup entrepreneur in this school. I started my second inning at the age of 59. That too, acquiring a franchise of a volleyball team. And my biggest critic was my own wife and my children. They were thinking that this man at the age of 59, puro pagal hai gaye. My wife said that you should have asked me. I looked at her. That a graduate is asking a chartered accountant lawyer that you should have asked me before doing this. I was shocked. My son was doing MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. He said, Dad, at least you should have discussed with me. I just told him one thing. Some decisions are made in mind, and for that,
We don't need universal accept of all the people. Do what you love what you do. Don't bother what the people says. If you believe in what you are doing is correct, give your everything to it. You have to keep doing it, irrespective of the people says. जितने लोगों ने मुझे पागल समझा था, आज वो मेरे को बहुत बड़ा हीरो समझते हैं। पवन पटोटिया तो सेम ही है। अगर हमने अच्छी टीम लेकर वर्ल्ड कप जीत लिया क्या बात है यार, लेकिन हमने नोवाइस को लेकर अगर वर्ल्ड कप जीता तो आवाज ज्यादा होगी। आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू सी सो मेनी पीपल फ्रॉम हियर एंड दिस स्पोर्ट्स नॉट ओनली गिव मी recognition, though the burning was very high. And I was told very clearly by the CEO that Mr. Patodia, if you are holding a glass of water, it weighs 400 grams for first few hours. In next few days, the weight becomes kgs. And perhaps after a week or so, it will be tons. So the losses incurred by first year, you will not bother because you will be, distracted by the name and fame you are getting. Second year also you will be able to finance it. But third year aate, the reality check will come. And you will take the exit. Because I think you are coming for valuation. You are not coming for creating the ecosystem of the sports in India. And you are not at all trying to make Atmanirbhar Bharat esports. That gave me a good leg. And today, because of my sports involvement, I am president of Special Olympic Bharat West Bengal, and I am vice president of Special Olympic India level, where I report directly to the minister. India has 3 Olympics: normal Olympics, Paralympics, Special Olympics. Now, all these opportunities in life have come in the second inning. It does not mean that my first inning was not glorious. I come from a PPL family. What I learned in my life is success is 10% of your talents and 90% is discipline. If you can continue your discipline, no force on the earth can stop you to become successful.
Moving on to the next speaker this evening is the co-founder of Be Innovator, Mr. Raja Guho, ladies and gentlemen.
When you first sell something to a customer, it's called sell. When that particular customer comes back to you again, it means you have built a trust. When that particular customer refers you to another customer, means you are in the process of building a brand. The perception which I created while working for a larger organization was that I am customer oriented, I am trustworthy, and I deliver what I promise. And these 3 lines should be the integral part of your journey. It is very easy to give Gyan to all of you. I know this journey is very painful, but it's very sweet. So the most important thing throughout this journey is to take care of your health. Forget balance sheet, cash flow, customer acquisition cost, and everything. If your health is okay, and if you're there in the pitch, the run will come. But if your health is not okay, you are in the hospital, it's all over. Take care of your health, work towards your happiness and passion.
Moving on to the next speaker this evening is the co-founder and CEO of Yansha. Put your hands together for Dr. Arnab Pasu.
I was in Switzerland. I had already taken, there was a program by McKinsey that there is a doctoral exchange program that happens with MIT. And I had actually sat for that exam and qualified. And I was doing a research on business model innovation, which was actually held through McKinsey route. And yet I had taken a decision that, okay, I will leave that and I will come back to Calcutta. And as usual, everybody started telling me that you have completely gone mad. Even if you want to start your own journey, you should be in Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi or something like that. But it cannot be a choice from McKinsey to Calcutta. It would be a disaster that can happen to you. You will just run out of your savings in 2 years and you will not be able to survive. Believe me, I have actually survived for the last 10 years and going, and I can tell you that it can be a story if you really stick to it consistently. Rather than big talks and everything, a brand can be actually built from Calcutta. If you today see many organizations, the majority of the large corporates in India, all are our clients. If you see Zudio, when they started, the behavioral thing that we did was for their first like of retail people who would be actually dealing with the customers. What should be the behavioral training? When we also did a lot of programs for the Tata Management Training Center for Infosys, and in fact I was privileged enough to have Narayan Murthy sitting in one of my sessions. So you can actually do it if you have the confidence, if you have the faith, you have the integrity that yes, I am doing consistently. You can definitely develop a brand. And a brand does not necessarily have to be always in that level that you have to keep on shouting. I think if you keep on listening, you will understand what the customers actually want. And there you can actually do a lot of things which automatically excels, and it creates an exponential growth for your brand. And that's what I had seen in multiple consulting assignments as well. And when we started with pet parenting, again, I had listened, many of my friends had actually sent me video recordings where people had said that spare the rod and spoil the child, and you're actually doing something very different. You are actually allowing them to thrive like that. This is not going to work and all. Today, many of them had actually come back to me and said that please tell us how we can do. We are not in talking terms with our children.
We quickly move on to our next speaker this evening, Mishki Mane Balaram Mollik and Radharaman Mollik, the very handsome Mr. Rishabh Mollik.
About the brand building thing is that everyone spoke about it very nicely, but whatever I understood from my family business till now, that if you want to build a brand, the most important thing you need to do is you need to be very determined that what your legacy is actually. Like what your family upbringing actually suggests to you, what it actually tells to you to do the right thing. So first, it's important that you have to be very, very punctual and very, very disciplined in your life. That's very, very important. But most importantly, like nowadays, the most biggest challenge that I face now is the staff problem. I would like to say that if you want to be to the startups, people who are in the startups, that if you want to build a brand, just make sure from your shoe to your hair, everything you have a brand in it, everything you have a brand name in it. Like you have to make the like for me, I have taken care of the packaging system. Like in Balaram Malik, what do you see? We have our segment customers like people who are going abroad, people who are traveling abroad. That's the target segment of us mostly now. So we have created good packaging system for them, like especially the vacuum pack. Like people, when Red Rasgulla was introduced in our brand, that used to get, it was a perishable item. So it's like you have to consume it in willing that day. But people who are taking it abroad, so it does not used to stay that much. So for that, we had done a lot of research and we have introduced that vacuum pack in which that there is no such preservatives in it, because it's not any risk for health also, something like that. So like just we put it in that machine, vacuum packing machine, and only that vacuum packing machine will help it to stay with 15 days. So these are the kind of ideas that I think if we invest a lot every day, like you can go to the shop and sit every day idle, just don't do anything. But if you don't give that actual extra effort, you will not reach somewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the general manager of the Spring Club with us this evening. May I invite on stage Mr. Sanjeev Ghosh.
startup, there is a startup. In between, there is pressure. And lastly, if you don't fulfill your task, then it is close up. So, these are the three most. Some startups, they start, but they close down because many startups have very good ideas, but they don't have deep pockets to burn. Because you have to be consistent in the market. Previously, in our developing country, there was less of competition. Now there is a lot of competition. So before you start anything, please do your R&D, please do your research. That is the most important thing. Don't jump into the bandwagon. First, do your research thoroughly, properly, have a proper survey, then you get onto the task. Because you can dream big, you can think big, you can do big, but one thing is that your study needs to be strong when you start. That is very, very important. So you can at least sustain for certain time. Because when you start something new, there are very big brands who copy you and immediately they do in a better way. Suppose someone, my next door, one person started something like big. He was bringing vegetables, he was bringing milk, he was bringing bread, he was bringing eggs to every house. Then suddenly this idea, big basket came in and he lost his. He could not compete with this big brand. Because people, as a growing country, we are always fascinated with the modern world, Western world, and the advertisement and everything. But we lose all the truth of service, Today, when you see an app on a big platform, say or big or anywhere, they have very few options for you. They make you their picks, research picks basically. They have few options where you go for the organic one, which is the costliest one. Recently, my wife purchased a packet of moody. That was called organic moody, and it was for 200 grams, and the moody came for 75 rupees. I said, what the hell, 200 grams moody? When I saw the packet, the packaging was good, but there was same moody. But the local moody which we get, it's more tastier. 200 grams, 75 taka.
Normal muri?
Normal moody is about say 20 rupees. So imagine the game here, So these big companies are playing. So there is always a bracket where we have a middle class, we have a people who don't get into this trap, We are always onto a trap, When we start something, we do it very well. When we become big, then we become trap masters. So these big brands, they're all trap masters. They trap you into their brand and they do big things. Now what we have to do, we have to be transparent. If you have a market, there are people always, like next time I told my wife that never touch that whole thing, never get that, I'm not going to eat it. So I'm not going to take it. So this is where an example is there, whereby. And the most important part is that when you envisage, when you get an idea, new idea, how to plan it, how to spread it, that's the biggest challenge. How to get to the customer. I know all the startups who are there, this will be your biggest challenge in the coming days.
The discussions went beyond theory. They explored practical branding frameworks, market authority, customer trust building, and scalable growth strategies, ensuring every startup walked away with actionable direction. But the Startup Brilliance 2026 doesn't end with knowledge shared on stage. It extends into connections, into conversations, into collaborations. The experience continues with an exclusive 1-hour networking session, a dynamic space where founders meet, ideas exchange, and partnerships begin. Followed by a curated high tea session, a refined setting designed for meaningful conversations, future opportunities, and lasting professional relationships. Because true growth happens not only through learning, but through the people you connect with. And this is just the beginning. The momentum created here now leads to the grand celebration. Get ready for the main award show of the Startup Brilliance 2026, happening on 28 February 2026 at the prestigious Spring Club. An evening dedicated to honoring excellence, celebrating innovation, and officially recognizing the 20 winning startups who are shaping tomorrow's business landscape. Mark the date, witness the brilliance, celebrate the vision. The Startup Brilliance 2026, where brands rise and excellence is celebrated.